All right, Wilson, let's get this lovely weekend started, shall we? Downtown Billings, 36 degrees. It's Friday. And here's a look at First News. Fair, accurate. You get the damn truth. Just a few days to go. Kamala Harris and former President Trump dueling rallies within 7 miles of each other tonight. They're going to be in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, home to a lot of Democrat votes. Trump is going into places around the country where the Democrats dominate. That's a smart move. That's where you go to try to change voters' minds. Like we said with Jon Tester, he should have been on our show numerous times to try to change the minds of voters instead of going to the strongholds. Joe Biden kicked up a political dust storm this week with his comments about people who vote for Donald Trump are garbage. Well, guess what? The White House press officials yesterday informed everyone that they altered his official transcript of the call of President Trump supporters garbage in order to change the meaning of it. That's right. The official stenographers at the White House that record all of the president's remarks for posterity said that they doctored the apostrophes in his sentences to take away the meaning of Trump supporters being garbage. Oh, yeah, they altered it, folks, just like they did Kamala Harris's 60 Minutes interview and others. They're now all in repair mode. Americans today will get the last major look at our economy when the jobs report comes out today. All of the liberal news organizations are saying this. It's likely to be obscured because of the effects of the hurricanes and the Boeing strike. They are already making excuses for the jobs report today, and they have no idea what these numbers will be. More than a year now into the war in the Middle East, Israeli troops are still battling the Hamas terrorist organization, also battling Hezbollah, now battling Iran as they continue to make way in Lebanon, Yemen, and other places. Israel has vowed that this will never happen on the Jewish population again. They continue to do the dirty work for the nations around the world, folks, wiping out these terrorist organizations. And yet, backlash from even here in America from the liberal left about Israel fighting these Hamas groups continues. Donald Trump, by the way, today is planning a rally in Dearborn, Michigan. That is the nation's largest Arab-majority city. Dearborn, Michigan has been roiled by political turmoil because of the Biden administration's handling of the Israel-Hamas war. These people are anti-Semitic. They do not have any sympathy for the Jewish population there. Trump's going right into the middle of it and talked to those folks in Michigan today, while Israel's Air Force pounded Beirut also early this morning, making headway in their quest to get this over as soon as they possibly can. The U.S. and South Korea want China now to start using their influence over Russia and North Korea because the war is escalating in the Ukraine. No U.S. diplomats are, by the way, in the Ukraine and with Russia trying to talk about a ceasefire. Nope, we're pumping billions and billions into that war effort to fight Putin. Differences in foreign policy evident between the Harris-Biden administration and the Trump administration. The Trump administration has vowed to end this war as quickly as possible if they are elected. North Korea is boasting they now have the largest intercontinental ballistic missile in the world and the world's strongest, 92 feet long. They had a test fire yesterday as North Korea has been virtually ignored by the U.S. and the Harris-Biden administration since they took over almost 4 years ago. They said they want to make sure the world knows that they are a threat. This missile is 92 feet, powered by solid fuel, has the capability of reaching us. Our U.S. official said they're not worried. Halloween last night, police in Florida said 2 people were killed, 6 others wounded in a couple shootings at Halloween celebrations in Orlando shortly after 1 a.m. Not many trick-or-treaters are on the streets at 1 a.m. in the morning, folks. Second shooting happened minutes later. They're still investigating. Owners of vacation homes down in Northern California's South Lake Tahoe area could face a significant tax increase. Their voters in the mountain resort town could approve a measure that will pit affordable housing against private property rights. It's a highly in-demand area. According to the American Community Survey, this levy would put a flat tax of $3,000 on homes that are all vacant down there more than 182 days a year. So a lot of those people use them as vacation homes, but they would charge them an additional $3,000 on top of what they are already paying. European markets opened a little higher today. Asian stocks were lower, with the Nikkei in Japan losing over 2% of its value. Thursday on Wall Street, we saw stocks go up and down for a while yesterday. Oil prices were a little higher yesterday here in the U.S., but by the time the bell rang, it wasn't good. The S&P 500 fell 108 points. The Dow lost 378 points. NASDAQ fell 512 points yesterday, as both Microsoft and Meta delivered better profit forecast in the latest quarter, but still, investors said they were expecting more out of them, and that's why NASDAQ tumbled. Other influential big tech companies, some of the heaviest weights on the market, NVIDIA, Amazon, Apple, they were all down yesterday. Striking workers at Boeing are going to vote on a new contract offer next week. The machinist said members will vote Monday on the latest proposal. The union said Boeing is now offering a general wage increase of 38% over 4 years. That was up from 35%. The strike has shut down production of most of the Boeing airplanes. The union said they want at least a 40% pay raise. Average rate on a 30-year mortgage here in the United States rose again, fifth straight week, making it harder for everyone to get a home. The rate is up to 6.72% for the average 30-year home buyer now, even though the feds have lowered the interest rates. Apple was down yesterday. Apple snapped out, they said, of their recent iPhone sales slump during the summer quarter. Sales of iPhones totaled $46.2 billion July through September. That's big phone, folks. $46 billion worth of iPhones sold just in that quarter. That's a 6% increase from where it was last year. ExxonMobil's third quarter profit beat what analysts had expected as the oil giant. Listen how they talk to that. Oil giant. They didn't talk about Apple being a giant, did they? No, but Exxon's a giant. Exxon earned $8.6 billion. Apple took in $46.2 billion, and look how they talk about Exxon. Exxon, of course, their revenue depends a lot on the price of oil, and it is down right now. Up and down Florida's Gulf Coast, residents are deciding whether to stay or go following the two hurricanes there. People who might move to Florida are contemplating whether it's worth the risk because it's a hurricane-prone state. Questions about their appeal raised regularly as 4 hurricanes and tropical storms crossed the Sunshine State this year. Florida's population, though, is grown by a third. There are now 23 million people in Florida. 23 million. It's grown a lot over the last 2 decades there. It's still alluring to most people, especially when it comes to taxes. A Washington state man who authorities said led a wildlife trafficking ring on the reservations in Montana, killed thousands of eagles and hawks. He was sentenced yesterday, 4 years in prison, and has to pay $750,000 in restitution. He's probably in line today trying to get one of those tickets. The sentencing was on Thursday, part of a trafficking ring that killed 118 eagles on the Flathead Indian Reservation and elsewhere, and then was selling their parts. Feathers and other parts of the birds are widely used by Native Americans at their ceremonies and powwows. Pleaded guilty. I wonder if any charges have been brought against all the people that bought them.
Yeah, because that's illegal too.
You know, they're purchasing illegally killed feathers from these, but he gets 4 years and $777,000 in restitution. The one other defendant, who was Simon Paul out of St. Ignatius, he still remains at large. They've got an arrest warrant out for him. He was also involved in that scheme. And pets are not forgotten during Mexico's famed Day of the Dead celebrations, as Mexican families get together to honor their deceased loved ones with flowers, candles, photographs, and the presence of pets has gained such momentum that now October 27th was considered the Day of the Dead for the pets down in Mexico, as they said they are experiencing changes in their traditions as they honor their dead every year with a special day. Now they are also honoring their pets with a special day down in Mexico as well. And people love their pets, no doubt about that. They get together, food, partying, celebrations, and so forth to remember all the relatives and loved ones that have passed. Cat Country News Time is 6:47. Sports or weather next.
In sports, Bob Costas is going to quit doing play-by-play. Even if you don't know who all the announcers are, a lot of times people have announcers they like and they don't like. And I was watching the game that Bob Costas did one time, and a Kansas City Chiefs player had committed suicide, and Bob went on to make quite the anti-gun statement, which kind of hurt him for a little bit. But he'll still do special things like the Baseball Hall of Fame induction, and he's worked several Olympics. And the only thing I caught from last night's Jets game was the chant, and I thought I heard all the really good chants. All the New York Jets fans last night were going, "Sell the team! Sell the team!"
Really?
Yes.
Oh, nice. From the Weather Center, 53 degrees today, partly sunny skies. Should be a pretty good afternoon. 51 tomorrow if you're traveling to get in for the Flakes Trip Party. You shouldn't have any trouble. 36 out there right now. It's 6:48. That's what's happening. Mark and Paul here together. Hope you're up 100. You'll blow half of it at the Pizza Ranch by Saturday night, but hope you're up 100. Thanks for tuning into the Cat.